Hey guys, Dan Fernandez, osteopath. Today we're going to talk about the basics for running. So just a bit of a recap from yesterday. Basically what I talked about yesterday was just about what the things you need to start, and the basic things would be just good trainers, have a foam roller, do your stretching, and good nutrition. Because at the end of the day, the good nutrition is going to help you get lighter, stronger, and just better performance. Okay. And today we're going to talk about how I do my gait analysis with my patients and the simple techniques that I found that are benefit for me. And if you guys feel like it's good for you, you can always share it with other people and just show your own experience. Basically, for me, I discovered 5-finger shoes for about 3 or 4 years ago, and I found that it was amazing. It's just allowed me to increase my performance, increase my times, and not really struggle with my runs. And in the other day, that's what everyone wants to do. You want to be able to go and run and really feel comfortable. Don't feel like it's an effort. And that is possible for everybody. The first thing I like to tell my patients is you just have to have fun. So we're gonna go back to second. So when people start running, I brought a little foot here. When people start running, there's this concept of how should you place your foot, right? And it's very simple. In the end of the day, anyone can learn how to place their foot on the floor when they're running very easily. You have to do one thing. It's that simple. You have to take off your shoes or your socks and just do it barefoot. So as you can see here, I have a nice line, and I'm going to do it for you. And just so you can appreciate to see that it's just not me talking out of nothing, and you can experience as well. So you can do it with me. Just take off your shoes and you're going to see how you're going to place the foot on the floor. So if this is the floor, just think, if I even walking, no, not walking, because even walking you can do a bit of a heel strike, but when you're actually running, if you place the heel right like that, that's going to create a lot of impact through your calcaneus. So that's going to impact on pressure through the ankle, knees, and hips, basically. Okay, so if you try to run on your heel, that's going to hurt. Then a lot of people think, oh, okay, then if I can't run like that, how am I going to run? Just run on my tiptoes. Well, this is your joints, yeah? These are your joints. So when you're going forwards, that's how you put in your foot. And a lot of people think, oh, I should be running on my toes. No. If you land on that, these toes, these joints right here, they're not made for impact at all. So if you're gonna go from a heel strike to a front forward strike, it's gonna be too much impact. So what I do, where I find it most comfortable for me, is I try to land flat forwards, just like that. So that's the floor. Try to land flat like that, and then go forwards. Because when we do flat, what's going to happen to the foot? It's going to pronate. Yes, the foot is going to pronate, and that's a good thing. What happens is when we pronate the foot, when the foot pronates, and then we start walking forwards, it's going to activate the windlass mechanism, and that's going to give you a spring for your Achilles tendon. Okay, it's very easy. Yeah. And if you sit down, I forgot to bring a bench actually. If you sit down and you sit on the chair, what you actually will want to see is that if you go too backwards, you're going to hit the foot there, and that's going to be too much impact. Then if you put your heel on forwards, when you hit it down on floor, that's going to be too much. So what we're going to do is, just as I mentioned, guys, just take your shoes off. Who cares about shoes, you know? I was reading on Born to Run, amazing book, and I was just recapping a couple of things that they had there. It was like, I think it was before 1972, if I'm not mistaken, is when Nike actually brought shoes off, and how having these cushion shoes are really not good for us, you know. Well, again, that was his opinion. That's my opinion as well. That's why I use the 5-finger shoes, which we'll be talking about tomorrow, is how beneficial this is, because it gives you no support. You know, it's all about strengthening your own body, strengthening your feet. Your feet are the support for your body. You are on your feet all day, so why not make your feet strong. Yeah, people say, oh, you wear those funny shoes with the toes coming off, and I just laugh. And I mean, sometimes I just go, yeah, it's just me, I don't bother. But if you just think about it, people don't like seeing these toes like that. Think about how you have your fingers. Yeah, when you have your fingers, if you're doing a handstand, how are you going to put your handstand? When you do your handstand, you're going to bring your fingers really apart so you have more support to hold your body, right? Same thing with the 5-finger shoes. That's why you have individual toe pockets. So when you're putting your foot, you can actually amplify and make it just more supportive for your body, and you can weight bear your body a lot more. Okay, so like I said, take your shoes off. We're just gonna do a very simple walk to run, and you're gonna see that your body will adapt automatically because you won't feel the pain. You don't want to feel the pain. So if you start heel striking, your body's gonna just go anteriorly a tiny bit, and if you go too much, what's gonna happen? You're gonna hit the balls of your foot right there, and it's gonna hurt as well. So no good. So simple, just like that. And come back. Okay? So obviously in the first, you want to do it on a nice pavement, nice and smooth, so you don't get any injuries. Look out for stones, because the stones will always hurt. That's why I've got a bit of protection. Okay? But it's very simple. A lot of people say, oh Dan, you run really fast, blah, 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 blah. You have big legs. It's not about having big strides. Also, one of the things you want to do is reduce the strides. Stride-wise, we should be doing about 180 beats per minute, okay? So there's apps on phones that you can go on music, and it's all about tempos. Decreasing your stride will decrease the amount of heel strike that you could possibly do as well. So always try to land your foot under the knee, okay? If you bring it straight down, if you bring your hips down, yeah, it's gonna be a lot better. Okay, so we're gonna start with my basic techniques. Okay, so starting from here, the first thing I wanna show you is how you can feel your body. So you'll see a lot of people using a lot of their arms and their body. Basically, you want to keep your body straight. When you're running, think about this. If you're running like this, I'm really doing it on purpose, and I'm having my body anteriorized, all the muscles in the back are going to be activated. If you're using energy on your back muscles to keep you straight, then you're not utilizing all the power that you can use when you're going forwards. So when you're running, try to have body straight and have your head looking forwards. So you're always looking forward to where you want to go. Does that make sense? Because if you're looking to the floor, you're going to kick the floor. Makes no sense. You want to look up ahead. You want to look tall and proud. Another thing about looking up ahead is that your chest is so important. Your chest has to be out. You have to be big, yeah? Don't crunch your chest in, because look, just do 1 second test. If you bring your shoulders in and try to inhale, you go, you can't fill everything up. So if your chest is out and you inhale and you go, you got so much more oxygen in. So therefore, if you have more oxygen intake to your body, therefore it's gonna supply more oxygen to the muscles. Therefore, your outcome in your run is gonna be amazing. I mean, just imagine how much more distance you can do. See, when I'm running, I barely ever struggle, ever, you know? Because when I'm running, I'm thinking about my tempos, and I'm thinking about breathing. Because those are two things that are really, really important, is that it's like a train, you go, yeah, it's all in the rhythm, okay? So we've talked about foot replacement, and we've talked about positioning. So how I start my run, first of all, I've talked before about warming up. Make sure you look at my videos about how warming up, because that's really important, okay? Don't start a run without warming up. So positioning wise, nice and tall, chest out. Think you have a balloon at the top of your head, and that's tall. So you only need 2 fingers. 2 fingers on the heel to raise up. So from here to just 2 fingers away, you're already going forwards. So what that meaning is that if I'm standing still and I'm bright and tall and I just lift 2 fingers on my heel to raise me up, the gravity is going to take me forwards. So if it's going to take me forwards, I mean, I'm using, again, 0 energy. And how easy is that? So I'm breathing, I'm giving more, I'm breathing. Obviously, I got my chest out, which means I have more oxygen intake. Plus, number 2, I have good posture, which then my back is not gonna be forced in a different position. I have my hands nice and straight because I'm gonna be nice and tall and have about just two fingers on my heel to take me forwards. That's gravity. So I'm just finding ways of saving energy, because if I'm doing a 5K or a 10K, I want to be as efficient as possible, especially for all the half marathon runners, marathons, everyone, you know, it's all about efficiency. Okay, so again, in that position, what we're going to do, lift up and just lean forwards and just go from there. Step number 2 we want to do is think about synchronization. And synchronization, we have 3 types of synchronization. We are going to synchronize our feet with our arms, and then afterwards with our breathing. Yeah, and then we're gonna find our own tempos, because what we need to do is, like a train, everything is synchronized. Or actually, think about this: how many people have gone swimming to do any type of swimming and didn't have any coaching? Not many. I mean, to properly learn how to swim, you need to have an instructor. He needs to tell you how to breathe properly, how to synchronize your breathing with your strokes. Even when cycling, you can buy a bike and go cycling, but if you have the proper assessment on the bike, you will be preventing so many injuries, and so on and so on. Running has been the only one that actually people just think, you know what, I just get a pair of trainers, it doesn't matter which ones they are, and I'll just go and running. That's a big mistake, okay? So what we want to do is stand up, and then we want to synchronize. So we start just by marching, look. And just by marching, I'm not doing this on purpose, guys, but look. My feet, my knees, and my hands are already synchronized. And this is not me doing it on purpose. Look, I'm stopping, I just start walking. What happens is my body, my spine, when it rotates to one side, the legs, the upper body rotates to the opposite. Why? It happens when you're walking. When if you put your left foot forwards, your right hand's gonna go there, and that's gonna balance and take you straight forwards. So when you see people running and they're doing this, and their legs are going straight, what does that mean? That's gonna tell you that the back has to unwind a lot more than actually what the legs are gonna do. So you put in a lot more effort through your back for what you wanna do, which is going forwards. So when you're running, try to keep your hands nice and light. You bring your fingers together like a little loop right there, and they have to be smooth going forwards and synchronize. So you synchronize and you just go like that. It's that simple. Simple. Yeah? Another thing I like to mention with this synchronization is, why is everybody running? You know? You should be doing it freely and not think of the struggle. Yeah? So try to bring yourself, I tell this again to all my patients when I do this for the first time, think that you're 6 years old and you're in the middle of this huge field and it's full of daisies, and you're a little girl, 6-year-old girl, and how are you going to do it? You're just going to have fun. And what you do is you do skipping, yeah, and you just go like la 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 la, and you do that again, you go la 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 la. Look, synchronization, yeah. But what's happening is I'm relaxing my body. I'm allowing my body to flow. Therefore, I'm not having any restrictions. I see people just do their gait analysis and they come in for knee problems and everything. I look at their back and says, yeah, you got shoulder problem as well. Says, oh, not really. Says, yeah, just put my hands over it and you just can feel it, because everything's so tight, because we have a sedentary job. We're in a desk too long, and that's not good. So part of the exercise is to relieve the pain, to make movement through your arms, through your spine, increase articulation, your rib movements, yeah? all these little things are going to increase your running, increase your performance is what we want, and then with good nutrition, boom, you guys are just non-stoppable, okay? So coming back to it, let's try and synchronize, okay? Just like that, okay? And now what we're gonna start to do is introduce number 3, which is breathing, okay? And this is the final thing. So we're breathing with synchronize. Well, I'm not gonna be able to do with the tempo, so the 180, but you get that on the app and you can do that just by listening, so you can know how your strides have to change. But I'm gonna tell you is how you can start running and not be puffing afterwards. So many people, they run from here to that post down there, not even that. Once they come back, they go, and it's not even an effort. But why? Because they're not synchronizing their output with their input. So they're doing too much effort for the amount of oxygen they put in, yeah? So again, what you wanna do is breathe 2 in and 2 out. And then you can gradually make it harder or easier. So you can do it 2 in with your mouth, 2 out with your mouth, or 2 in with your mouth, 2 out with your mouth. If you really want to make it harder, just do 2 in and 2 out. I'll probably recommend everybody to just do with their mouth as a beginning, and you can just grow to it. What this is going to do is going to build your cardio and just make you stronger. Okay, so the way you do it is like this. So we go. Now, you probably don't understand what I'm doing with my diaphragm. This is my diaphragm, yeah? So my diaphragm is doing halfway in, full way in, halfway out, everything out, yeah? So I'm meeting my diaphragm halfway in with my lungs, and that's going to be synchronized with the pacing. So I'm going to show you that again, okay? So from right here, what we're going to do is march, very simple, and every single tempo. So that's boom, 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 boom. What we're gonna do is make it with your chest out, and you really inhale, and you're gonna go. Yeah? Look at my chest. When I'm breathing in, it's really going. So what am I doing? I'm not just taking in air, I'm actually articulating my spine. I'm moving my spine. What's that going to do? That's going to make my muscles freer. It's going to make the drainage better. The more oxygen in, the more carbon dioxide goes away. Better exchange, and it's just efficient. And I bet you that if you do this, you will feel so more comfortable when you run, okay? So let's do it again. So just march, just start marching, and think of the tempo. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now just doing the breathing, and you go. It's that simple, okay? So what we're gonna do now is, remember that skipping that I was doing a while ago? We're going to try and synchronize that with the running. So again, you want to do small and short strides so you don't heel strike, and please don't go on the tip of your toes. We want to get my foot back up. We want to flat straighten there, so we can pronate some a bit. Go forwards, activate your windlass mechanism. You don't know what that's going to mean, but or you probably will. But it's basically when that is activated, it's going to stretch your plantar fascia, activate your Achilles tendon, and then your Achilles tendon, what's it going to do when it comes down? It absorbs the shock and it takes you forwards. Yeah. So, and again, another mechanism that the body actually has to take you forwards. So this thing about having these orthotics, high support trainers with a lot of cushioning, personally, I don't like it. You may like it, you may find it's good for you. I don't criticize you at all. I mean, we all choose to do whatever we think is best for our body, and that's how we're gonna just keep it, you know? We all have our own beliefs, and I've been pain free for a long time. So let's do it again. So we're gonna do the synchronization, and I'm gonna bring it to the running pace. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do it slowly with the breathing, okay? And I'm gonna look forward, okay? So basically, we're gonna take a nice deep breath in, and then go out. Remember the synchronization. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just keep that rhythm. Now do with your breathing, and you go. Look at the chest. From here, we're gonna keep the body straight, have the head up high, and just lean forward to take that first step. But don't lean too much, or else everything's going to be activated with your muscles. Just enough to take you forwards while you're running, okay? So this is what's going to look like. So I'm going to be marching, and I'm going to stop. Okay, that's simple, guys. Okay, so try and keep it synchronized. Take it slowly. Look, and not just to the, okay, it is a bit of a short run, but I could go all the way down and come back and still be able to talk. They'll probably be afraid someone steals my phone while I'm recording. But yeah, trying to synchronize your feet with your arms, with your breathing. Yeah, if you can synchronize those three things, you will have huge benefits. And for all of you that's starting to run, really please try and do this. I mean, we can book an appointment. I do half sessions, so I'll have your case history probably in a second treatment. I take my patients outside, I do their gait analysis, and just help them progress with their running. It just makes a huge amount of difference, okay? So, recap again. We want to do foot replacement. You want to do a strike down to go forwards. Don't heel strike, don't go on your toes, because if you've done that while you're barefoot, even if you're at home, if you try to heel strike, that's gonna hurt loads. If you're gonna try and go on your toes, that's gonna hurt loads. Oh, I just remembered, someone said, oh, what about sprinters? Haha, if they're doing sprinting, you can go on your tiptoes. If you're sprinting, that's perfectly fine, because you're not doing that for 5K. Yeah, you're doing it for a short amount of distance. Yeah, so if you're doing it for short amounts of distance, you just look to Usain Bolt. I mean, he look, their position, look at their posture though. Their posture is amazing. When they're doing it, they're synchronized. You will see, as much as that knee's coming up, the hand on the opposite side meets up, and when they swap, it hits. It goes boing, boing, boing. So it's synchronized. These guys are pros. You know how they train? Go and see the research. They all train barefoot. And all the research that you will see from all the good pros, they do half of their training with trainers and half without. Because barefoot, it will make your feet stronger. I'm not telling you to go out and run barefoot. I mean, there are people who do it. I personally do it. I just use my Vibrams because I want the protection from stones, from the glass, from things that just all around everywhere. But again, I'm not trying to force you. You can do the same training, the same technique with your trainers, okay? I would do it with device, would just probably trying to decrease the amount of cushioning that you have, like possibly a Nike Pegasus or a Nike Zoom. No, and it wasn't Nike Pegasus. Was it Nike Pegasus? Yeah, I think it's Nike Pegasus. Nike Pegasus. Well, everything which has a shorter cushioning, lesser cushioning, and no arch. Just try and go to neutral, and do it progressively. You're not going to start trying to go from 0K to do 5K. Let's say you do 5K already. You've been running for ages, and you've been doing 5 and 10Ks, and you just saw my video and you think, oh, this guy's really right. I'm going to go and try and do it. No, don't want to do that. What you want to do is just do 1K. If you normally do 5K and you just got yourself a five-finger shoes, you want to just basically train for a 1K and then put your shoes on and do the rest. It's all about technique. You learn the technique first, and you can learn technique with the trainers. It doesn't really matter. But to get the feet stronger and not using the support, you need to walk as much as you can barefoot. That's the key, yeah? And a walking barefoot will make you stronger and have a better posture, okay guys? Okay, so tomorrow I'll be talking all about 5-finger shoes. I'll be bringing a couple outside, or probably just do it inside my clinic. I'll be talking about what are the benefits. I can talk to you possibly about the research behind it. But yeah, I'm a Vibram ambassador. If you need any codes, discount codes, just let me know. I'll try to put something in for you guys. But any questions about running, just give me a shout, okay? Remember my three basic steps. It is synchronize, synchronize, synchronize. You want to synchronize your feet with your arms, with your breathing. Keep your good posture, guys, and you got it all, okay? So anything, any questions, just give me a shout, leave me a post. I'll try to make it for you. It's a beautiful day, guys. Let's go running.